Cristobal?
Here.
Missy Giovanni?
Here.
Ms. Holmstadt?
Here.
Mr. Scher?
Here.
Mr. Stampone?
Here.
Mr. Toth is absent. Ms. Wojcicki?
Here.
Ms. Calderon?
Here. Notice of the April 28th, 2025 meeting of the Board of Education was emailed to the clerks of the boroughs of Essex, Fells, North Carolina, Roseland, and to the Township of Fairfield, and to the editor of Progress on January 7th, 2025, and the Star Ledger on the same day. Welcome back, everyone, from your spring break. I hope everyone had a week off. It was nice weather on and off, so that's a good thing. We're going to change the agenda a little bit tonight, just so that we can let our independent study young lady go first, so she won't be bored as the rest of it. Mr. Lerner.
All right.
Everyone else is staying to be bored like us.
So the science department has one more independent study under the tutelage of Miss Deanna Lippi. Naya Ashti did an epidemiology work this year. So here she is.
Hi everyone, my name is Naya. Something a little about me, I'm planning on going into bioengineering this fall, and one of the reasons I chose this major is because I love science and I wanted to do something in the medical field, but I realized after seeing how my brother did, you can only do two things. If you want to go pre-med, you can be a doctor or you can do research, and I realized that I wanted a little something more in case I changed my mind, so I chose to do bioengineering because an engineering major sometimes you can get a little more. I chose epidemiology because it really focuses on like the wide public health of just populations and not just certain people, and I really like to see how I can connect bioengineering to that, and I have learned a lot. So to get started, first I want to just recognize some past students who did epidemiology as their independent study. We have Sierra Alamia, who goes to Penn State now and majors in nutritional sciences. Her brother, Jimmy Alamia, who also goes to Penn State, he's graduating this year with a degree in chemical engineering. And then we have my brother, George Ashji, who goes to the University of Rochester. He's graduating this year with a degree of biochemistry and genetics and is moving on to medical school this fall. So to start off, what is epidemiology? Epidemiology, like I said before, is the study of health problems across populations and not just individuals. It focuses on patterns, causes, and effects that affect these disease outbreaks, and epidemiologists really focus to see how they can stop these outbreaks and why they need to focus on present tense and not past, because the technology that we have now is a lot more advanced than past technology, so it is easier to stop certain outbreaks like COVID-19, which we are all familiar with. So what is the role of epidemiology and what do epidemiologists do? I first researched how they detect and monitor diseases and why they do that. When COVID-19 first started up, we know it started in December of 2019, but we weren't very alerted by it until March 2020 when it became a big thing. So first, new health threats were identified, and then risk factors and modes of transmission were also found. We found that talking to people and germs, and they spread through contact of different objects. And epidemiologists really worked hard to create different experiments and tests to see how they can stop this disease spread and why this disease spread was happening. Then safety guidelines and vaccine development and treatment protocols are approached, and they are found, and different vaccines were found. I'm sure you guys all saw on the news how different things were found and they were being tested on different people. Then these prevention methods are actually tested to see how well they can actually stop the spread. And lastly, they are really shown to the world to end up protecting our communities. So what is the importance of research in epidemiology? Epidemiologists, with the research from them, they were allowed to track these diseases and find what was causing these different mutations. Again, COVID-19 is a very big one. Other things that were researched was the Black Death, the Spanish flu, just really big things that caused a pandemic and ultimately a lot of people to be affected by it. Different public health strategies are also supported by epidemiologists, like, for example, vaccinations and quarantine. Public schools were shut down. The world went into like a worldwide pandemic, and that was all because of the dangerous spread of COVID-19, because we did not know why it was spreading so quickly. So overall, new trends were just found and everything that they were gathering is eventually used to prevent these future health crises from happening again. There are 4 different major concepts in epidemiology. Something about epidemiology is that it looks at trends in real time and it doesn't look at past trends. The real time, it's very helpful that they're looked in real time because of our new technology that we have. So with tracking these disease trends, we are able to then find out what makes people most vulnerable to these and then end up understanding and stopping the disease spread. And then lastly, we create policies, vaccines, and treatments to stop this. So how does epidemiology and bioengineering, how do they go hand in hand? Like I said, I'm planning into going into bioengineering because after seeing what bioengineers do, I've realized that I want to be the person that creates the medical devices that are able to treat, diagnose patients quicker and more efficiently. For example, there was an article about x-ray machines, and I'm sure you guys hear how like the UV rays are dangerous. There's something that was talking about how there's this pill that you can take, and then these x-ray machines are not dangerous anymore. So I think it's so interesting that we can study that, and I want to look more into that in the future. They really show the data to help us design those effective medical technology, and they overall just give us a safer and more efficient product to develop for the treatment of patients. So how do epidemiologists study diseases? First, they gather information through the different tests and surveys and lab reports that they take. They look for trends over time, and they look at different types of people that are affected. Something about epidemiology is that though it looks at like an overall population, it also looks at different age groups. So why is this age group more affected than another age group? And they try to prove that. Like we saw in COVID, we saw that those who were, for example, above the age of 60 were getting a lot more affected by COVID, and those who were also very young, who didn't have very strong immune systems, were also being affected. So those vaccinations were created to stop that. Then risk factors are studied, and then the source of the outbreak is found and how it spreads, and that ultimately leads to the development of different preventative strategies to stop this spread. I would like to thank Ms. Lippy for being my independent study advisor and all of you guys for being here today. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody.
Hello.
I'm going to present the 25-26 budget to everybody. I will say as I start, this was one of our more difficult budgets to balance, but we're in a good place. So we are able to maintain existing district staff, academic offerings, extracurricular activities, and regular transportation. So I just want to say this here. We heard all the concerns from the community. We listened to everybody. We took into account. We were able to figure it out for the year to keep busing intact and not go to subscription for the year. So that will not be a thing for next year. So we hope that helps and eases everybody's mind a little bit. So what are the new things we're doing in the budget? Middle school and high school guidance office renovations are happening this year. That'll be a summer project. We are going to renovate a middle school science classroom. I don't know why that keeps moving. I'm not touching anything. Okay, we're good. And additional security cameras. And we're meeting the increase of salaries and benefits and operational costs. So here's the overall budget. The total general fund is $49,133,531. The special revenue fund is grants, $272,000. Sorry, I just like these numbers to me are. And the debt service fund is $469,264. So this is a breakdown of the budget. I'm not going to go line by line. This is just a general overview of what the budget looks like and how the breakdown happens. This will be posted, so if anybody wants to really like dig into those numbers, but you'll see where there are larger changes and variances for next year, and where there were cuts. And one of the big ones that I will point out, I know You'll all see the capital outlay went down. We just finished the culinary arts project, so, and the STEM rooms. So those two rooms took money out of capital reserve. We are not taking money out through the budget for capital reserve. I will tell you in capital outlay, which is not really capital outlay, but you can, out of that line, buy a vehicle. We are looking to purchase a passenger van so that we can move some of our special ed students around, our community-based instruction students on our own without having to use buses. That law is changing effective July 1, so I will just point that out to you guys. Grants have gone down. Also, that's another one that you will see a big change in. We're expecting some sort of cuts federally, but we're not sure what. So we were told to budget at least 30% under what we had. So, and charter school tuition, that increase this year, that comes from the state. They give us that number when they give us our state aid. So we had, I believe next year there's 5 charter school students. So that increased 147%. This is a pie chart just so you can see where the money is allocated to. Again, this will be posted for everybody. I know the question always is, where does the money come from? Nobody where do we get all that money? So most of our money obviously comes from raising taxes, unfortunately. So the tax levy is the biggest bulk, but we do have money for other things. So we have miscellaneous revenue, it's $1 million. That's interest in our bank account. That's rental fees, pay-to-play fees, gate receipts. I'm just trying to think, just like miscellaneous things. Tuition, we do accept special ed tuition students only in our 18 to 21 program. So that's a forecast of potential tuition. State aid went up 6%. We were fortunate, a lot of districts around here lost money. Budgeted fund balance, so there's an excess surplus that carries through annually. And we draw some of that down every year. We took a little bit more this year to balance the budget. So that's $900,000. Maintenance reserve, that's because we're going to do a little bit more remodels. We use that money for that. So that's about $200,000. Again, grants went down and debt service. Now we'll move. Sorry, I don't know why it looks like that. It didn't look like that earlier. But I'll have it cleaned up before it gets posted. So again, just a pie chart of where all the money comes from. So the overall difference from last year to this year. So last year's tax levy the total tax levy was $42,597,614. This year it is $44,124,143. We were able to increase the general fund levy 3.64% because our health benefits are slated to go up over 15%. Prescription was 20%. Thankfully, that renewal just came in at 9%. But that's all unknown when you're doing a budget in March and we're still shopping the market. Unfortunately, the state health benefits, we're at the mercy of everybody in that plan. Our experience rating is not good at all, so I can't even get out of that at this point. We've tried to shop it. I can't control it. So we just keep looking at it. Every time we're getting there, we pull a report, but they're losing money on us, so nobody wants to take us for private. Debt service aid is dropping. We have, I believe, 5 more years about on our debt service and we'll be done. And I do just want to make another comment because I realize I missed this. We are increasing the pay-to-play fees for next year. We did speak about that before, but they are going up $25. So a high school student will be, they're $125 now, right? They'll be $150. Middle school will be at to $125. There will still be a family max that we'll update all the forms before we start pushing all of that out through the parent portal. All forms will be updated. Okay, so how we get there. The overall budget is $49,874,794. Revenues from state aid, miscellaneous revenue, tuition, grant money, et cetera, is in that $5,750,651. The overall tax levy is $44,124,143. Okay, so every year we present this. This is a potential, okay? So we get these numbers in March from every town. And I do want to point out a couple big changes for this year. So Essex Fells percentage share went up almost like a full percent because they obviously have more students coming here now than they have in years past. So Essex Fells percentage went up. Fairfield's percentage share has declined. North Caldwell went down just a little bit, but Roseland went up over 1.5%. Also, another big thing I want to point out on this is that Roseland just went through a large reassessment, right, town reassessment. So your numbers have changed significantly, and I just wanted to point that out because I know people looking at home, you don't realize that. But last year, the average residential value was $470,368, and now it's $639,600. So that is why there's such a big swing too with the property tax for West Essex and the increase. I just like to point those things out. All of the other towns, they pretty much stayed consistent. You'll see the only one that went down is Fairfield. The annual decrease is $118.64, but Essex Fells average tax increase will be $681.70 annually. North Caldwell's increase will be $164.18 annually again. Roseland is $351.17 annually. Again, this is for informational purposes only. I do not control what comes out on your tax bill. I know people like to know. That's all of my presentation. Thank you. I'm here for questions now. Board members, questions first?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you to everybody here on the admin team because they've all worked with me because everybody stayed flat this year basically and has worked within their means to make it work, and we're all working together. So thank you guys too. Do any of you have questions for me? After. All right. Thank you all.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to open up the floor to any comments regarding the budget. Questions? Okay, all right. So we will take a vote. Mary? Sure. Please?
Read it?
Please.
Sure. Item 1, adoption of the 2025-2026 school year budget will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Crisable?
Yes.
Ms. Giovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Longstaff?
Yes.
Mr. Scher?
Yes.
Mr. Sampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wojcicki?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. I would like to thank Melissa on behalf of the Board of Ed. We did discuss subscription busing. We felt that was the only way we needed to go in order to balance the budget because we didn't want to actually take a hit to academics, athletics, music department, nothing. So we felt that was the only way to go. And then Melissa one day said, I think we're going to be okay. And we were like, okay, so we're just relieved. We're very grateful. Melissa puts a lot of time and effort into this. She does it a lot at night and on her own time to make sure that the school is fiscally responsible and that we are responsible to the communities and that we make sure we provide everything for the students and for the staff. So we applaud Melissa. She does a hard work with this, and we really do appreciate it. And thank you to the administration for coming out and supporting her tonight. Okay, with that being said, Mr. Chochin.
All right, there's just a couple of things I want to mention tonight, things that happened since the last board meeting, and I know at the next board meeting our principals will do a wonderful job of doing their reports, but there's a couple of things noteworthy that I want to mention for tonight. First of all, I echo the comments from Ms. Calderon about Melissa. You know, she does a great job, and she put together a great budget this year, and so thank you, Melissa, for doing that. On the calendar tonight, I know everybody's excited about this, our unused snow days. So we will be giving back 2 days, Friday of Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd, and then we will be closed Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Memorial Day, closed on Tuesday, also May 27th. In addition, we will have a single session day on Thursday, May 22nd. So I'm glad that we didn't really have a bad winter because it's nice to be able to give those days back. So everybody can thank me later for not calling so many snow days. Couple things, all right? So the New Jersey Department of Education recently released high school summative rankings and scores based on the school performance reports from the 23-24 school year. NJ.com ranked those high schools based on the summative ratings. And we are proud to announce that West Essex High School is ranked number 34 out of 358 schools statewide, up from 39 last year. This achievement is a direct result of the hard work and dedication of our outstanding faculty, staff, and students, many of our administrators, and we have some teachers here tonight. We want to thank you for all your hard work, which contributed to us coming out favorable in the rankings. Our former high school principal is here, Mr. DiLiberto. The admin from the high school is here. They all work together with our entire admin team, and that's a direct reflection of everybody's hard work. On the athletic front, on Thursday, April 24th, West Essex boys lacrosse player Anthony Drago reached a major milestone, eclipsing 200 career goals in boys lacrosse, surpassing the previous school record of 200 career goals set by Michael McWilliams from the class of 2000. But Anthony didn't stop there. He scored 4 goals that day to reach 203 total career goals and added 8 assists, giving him 12 total points in the game, which also resulted in the school's single game points record. He's now on track to break the total record for total points of any athlete for boys lacrosse. So good luck to Anthony, and congratulations to the coaching staff. And I see Mr. Walsh is here in the audience as well.
We'll break it tomorrow.
Academics, congratulations to the high school and district administrators for successfully recognizing over 400 students on April 15th and April 16th. During these days, our students were honored at 10 induction ceremonies for outstanding academic achievement. So thank you to all of our staff, our board members and parents who joined us for the occasion, and congratulations to all of these amazing students who were inducted into the following societies: the National Honor Society, World Language Honor Society, Science Honor Society, Math Honor Society, Rho Kappa Honor Society, Art Honor Society, English Honor Society, Tri-M Music Honor Society, and the International Thespian Honor Society. Regarding culture and climate, congratulations to the middle school and the high school for being designated by the Anti-Defamation League as Gold Star No Place for Hate schools. This is the second year in a row that our school has received this award. Several of our students and staff will attend a banner ceremony on May 20th at NYU to be recognized by the ADL. Upon return, we will again proudly display our banners in each of our schools. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our entire school community for supporting our school culture and climate initiative. We're so honored to receive this award, and we truly appreciate the commitment from our students and staff And I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Dunleavy, Dr. Westervelt, and Mrs. Hulse for their hard work and for supporting these programs in your buildings. It takes a lot to execute those lessons every couple months. Every department has to be on board. Everybody's doing the same lesson at the same time. So I want to commend you guys on the great work that you've done with that. And the nice thing about this program is it's all student-led. So all the discussions are led by students. A lot of the activities are developed heavily by the input from the students. So it's very student-driven. So congratulations on that. And then before I conclude my report this evening, again, we have some teachers here, so I want to thank you guys. Everything that I mentioned tonight is definitely a result of the hard work of our teachers. But I often don't get my administrators together like this, so I also want to recognize them tonight because a lot of the efforts that happen, our administrators play a critical role in leading, supporting, and inspiring that work. So I just want to thank them and just let you know that I'm proud to work alongside such a talented and dedicated team. And that's my report for tonight. Thank you. Correct. Yes, I think it's May 4th. You remember the date, Mr. Roberto? May 6th?
What's the next one?
Board member comments or anything?
Sorry?
Board member comments?
I was able to attend part of the honors event this past week, and I just want to say it was nice to see for so many families. Obviously, they're excited, but also, like Ms. Casais, I heard what you were saying in the English honors assembly in particular, because that was the one I got to sit in on, and I thought you took time and care to really think about how to inspire these kids, and I know all of the administrators do that. And when we see kids talking about epidemiology, Ms. Lippy, like the opportunities that these kids have, like these are examples of just how many opportunities there are for kids to feel inspired and be lifted up in this district. It just is really, just makes me happy. So anyway, I enjoyed it.
Mary Dell and I were in attendance too. We attended the first honor, which was the world languages, correct? And it was just overwhelming. There was a young lady there. What? Oh, we were at. Oh, that's what we were at. Yeah.
I'm very forgetful.
I don't know. I just followed the crowd. So we started out at that, and the languages and the presentation that the kids put on. The speaking, the singing, it was just great. It was a phenomenal day. And then we did go on to math, and we did recognize all of those. And it's just great that there were so many parents involved, that you've changed it over to the day production, and it was a really nice event. So congratulations to all of you for doing that. And I would like to thank our administrators, our teachers, for the fact that we are ranking where we are ranking in the state. It's not one person, it's not one department, but it's an entire team that keeps this school going the way that it does go. And with the fact that we're able to keep the budget and we have no cuts, there have been so many comments from people in the community saying, aside from the busing, what do you intend to cut? What's going to happen? Are we losing staff? Are we doing this? Are we having that? Because they see it on a daily basis, all of these school districts that are coming out. There was just one, Jonathan had showed me down in Little Lake Harbor. I think it was, they're getting 65, I think they're cutting. Was it? Yeah, but it's
still raising taxes 33%.
And raising the taxes 33%. So I think, we as a community up here are very lucky. Our students are very lucky, our staff, that we are able to continue, the quality of education. And we thank you all for, everything that you do. We really do. We want you to know that we appreciate it and we support you for everything, all of your efforts. So, you know, let's just keep up the great work and just keep those numbers rising and rising. You know? So anyway, with that being said, anyone
I'd like to
else?
say
Oh,
something.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just to follow up with what you said, I mean, excellent job from everybody here. I also would like to acknowledge Damien for doing a wonderful job. It takes a village, and we recognize all the supervisors, and I just, for the record, I also wanted to recognize Damien for the great job that he's been doing, that he's done. You're welcome.
Okay, with that being said, start the agenda, please. Okay, finance, Greg, please.
The following finance motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 9, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Okay. Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Holmstead? Yes. Mr. Sher?
Yes.
Mr. Stampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Alicia, building and grounds, please.
Sure. The following building and ground motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda in item 1 will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Holmstead?
Yes.
Mr. Sher?
Yes.
Mr. Stampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Jonathan, personnel, please.
Yes, ma'am. The following personnel motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 11, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Holmstead?
Yes.
Mr. Sher?
Yes.
Mr. Stampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Ruth, curriculum and special education, please.
The following curriculum and special education motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 3 will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Holmstead?
Yes.
Mr. Sher?
Yes.
Mr. Stampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Deb, miscellaneous, please.
Following miscellaneous motions are made at the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Anything placed on this agenda, items 1 through 14, will be voted upon in one motion, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Amo?
Yes.
Ms. Cristobal?
Yes.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Ms. Holmstead?
Yes.
Mr. Sher?
Yes.
Mr. Stampone?
Yes.
Ms. Wadowitz?
Yes.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up the floor for public comments on non-agenda items. One minute. Well, I hate to tell you this, but by now you might as well introduce them. Everybody's like, what's going on?
So we have two of our new association reps here from the Teachers Association. So they will have new leadership next year, the president and vice president.
Yes.
So Caroline Blanchard from the high school and Susanna Dewey from the high school, both teachers. We look forward, I know Melissa and I look forward to working with you, keep our relationships where they are, work together collaboratively, and I know the board, will be, ready to do the same. We've always maintained good relationships with all our associations, and we hope to continue to do that, so we look forward to.
My name is Susanna. I have this
us that we are lucky that we are inheriting such a good relationship with you and the board and the administrators, so we hope to have a nice, calm transition.
I agree.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Mayor, you want me to- Thank you everyone for coming this evening and supporting us through the budget process. We do appreciate it. Okay. There being no further business before this Board of Education, be it resolved that this public meeting be adjourned at 8:09. Motion to adjourn.